things in a mile. What's a mile to a king? What's a king to a god? What's a god to a non-believer who don't believe in anything? Make it alright, alright, alright. No church in a while.
So Joe, last time obviously we was talking, I asked you about the Hyrox and how it went. So now I want to just talk about it and obviously what made you do it and a bit of information about how you got into doing it.
Yeah, I think it'll be about 2 weeks ago now that I did it. And it was TM Cycles that actually got me into the idea of doing it. I was watching his YouTube channel for quite some time. Obviously he was just bodybuilding. And then he documented his like Hyrox prep that he did. So that's what kind of gave me the spark to it, so to speak. And then obviously when we went on the retreat, Emma, my client, spoke about it. I think she ended up booking it like literally just when we got back. So I thought, you know what, stuff it. If she's going to book it, I'll bite the bullet and book it as well. And it was good because I was then able to, obviously I signed up with my coach, Jade, shortly after, and then I was able to apply what I was learning from Jade and then help Emma with hers as well. And obviously she got a pretty good time for her first attempt. So, but no, I really enjoyed it. It was a very, very good weekend. I got a lot more enjoyment out of it, even though it was fucking hard. As you know, what I mean, you've done like CrossFit type stuff and obviously endurance stuff. So I think coming from a bodybuilding photo shoot background into that is quite different. But I'd say I enjoyed that a lot more than what I thought I would. So no, it was a really good weekend. It was the training was tough, but I'm so glad I did it. And it was like when I did that photo shoot, it was literally like sort of 2-3 days before the shoot, and in my head I was just like, I just want to get it over and done with. Like all that excitement had built up and then just wore off. Whereas with the Hyrox, I didn't get that. Like the buzz on the day, like the days after. Like I thought I would sleep so sound that night, but honestly I was wired. I was watching some random shit on the TV. Like I could not get to sleep. So yeah, I was on such a buzz. And I kind of got a bit emotional as well on the day, which is not, I mean, you know me, I'm not a very emotional person. But yeah, I just remember sitting in the hotel room the night before and I was like envisioning, if that's the right word, myself like crossing the finish line. And I could actually see myself like kind of tearing up a little bit. And then it was saying when I got to the start line, that like vision came in my head again of me crossing the line. And that's why on the Instagram post, in the caption I put on there, when I crossed that finish line, I literally felt like I could have just started crying, which is weird. I can't explain why I felt like that. It's not like I had this mad emotional connection to it, or like people are there doing it for family members or the Macmillan cancer stuff and that. But yeah, I can't even explain it, but I just felt really emotional after I'd done it. So
I think like with that, like from my years of competing and racing, I think it also stems from how much effort and time, dedication, and consistency in your training, in your lifestyle, and then for all to come down to this, it's like it is overwhelming because it's like I've trained my arse off for this. I've trained solid for this. And it's almost like a relief of tension and pressure, and then sometimes we expose that through tears and joy, and then through determination to finish that race, that event. So those 6 months of you smashing and training it, that's probably you've been going like a sigh of relief, but in a good relief, not a bad relief, because now you've got another event in March, but this one is a team. Do you want to explain about that one and the process of that?
So the one I did was the Men Open. So you do everything yourself, all the running, all the stations. Whereas in March, I'm doing it with my client Shannon. So in the mixed doubles one, it's weird. It's the same weights as what I had to do, same distance on everything, but we kind of do it as a pair. So we both do the runs, 8K in running, and then you just split the stations. So I need to like check the rule book properly, because all I know at the minute is it's like you go, I go, but I don't know if you can swap as many times as you want, or like when you start the sled push, it's like 4 lots of 12.5. So I don't know if whoever starts it has to at least get to the end before the other person can push it back. So I'll have to check the rule book, but no, I'm looking forward to that. I think obviously what I did was like a taster, and I know she'll really enjoy it as well, because I know she's into it, and I mean she's probably more committed than I am. I mean, I thought I was committed, but you look at her and it's like she's just built different. So no, I'm really looking forward to it. And a couple of the guys that I spoke to in London said that they believe the doubles is actually harder, because there's 2 of you, you go in a bit more intense on the stations. Obviously, when I was doing it on my own, them first 2 or 3, I took my time a little bit with it, just got my bearings, and but in a doubles, like you see people literally first station ski erg and they're going ham on it, but you've got that little bit of recovery time. So and it's another few months away yet, so both of us will, like I said, she's already very fit at the minute, fitter than me by a long way, but another couple of months time hopefully we can be a little bit more even, but no, I'm looking forward to that. And then hopefully after that I would like to do a proper abroad one. The Madrid, Barcelona, or even I'd love to do the Dubai or LA one, but obviously it's a lot more expensive, so maybe wait a little bit more, maybe wait till I'm sponsored by Hyrox, if possible, and if that's even a thing.
No plugs. But yeah, so obviously, so you've smashed that one a couple of weeks ago. You with Shannon, who obviously is a beast. Like, her level of fitness is great anyway, and obviously you're coaching her and you're training together and competing together. I know you're going to smash it. We both know that. Now, after that, obviously you want to compete abroad. Don't know which one yet, but obviously there is one that you've been thinking of. I know pretty much all the abroad ones sell out really quick. And actually, I think next to our apartment, then that lady said to you, because we was talking about Hyrox, and then she popped her head around and says, "Oh, are you talking about Hyrox?"
Yeah, couldn't believe it.
and then obviously I kind of disappeared, and you were speaking. So what was she speaking about? What?
Yeah.
I didn't really hear her.
Yeah, she just, I didn't catch her name, but I think she's, from the sounds of what she was saying, I think her and her friend did a mixed, normal doubles, so 2 women, and I think she said it was in like the 64 to 69 age category. So straight away I was like, wow. Jeez. I mean, she didn't tell me what time she got. I'm kind of glad, to be fair, because I bet it was quicker than what I did it in.
Can you imagine? You beat me.
But there was 2 of them though, so so she said that they actually, they must have, I don't know how it works with the World Championship qualifications, but they got 1. So I'm assuming it's whoever comes first in that age range or age category. But like I said to you off camera, there's not, in that 64 to 69, not that I'm trying to take any credit away from them, because what they've done is amazing, but there's not many people in that age category.
No.
I'd be surprised if there was more than 5, 10 in that age category, and then I believe 1 pair out of that gets an invite to the World Championships. But it must be whoever comes first.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, like with the Ironman, and obviously we're in Lanzarote right now, and obviously this is like one of the top places in Europe and maybe the world besides Kona to race an Ironman or do an Ironman. And the same with the age bracket, I think that over 60, obviously people are still doing Ironmans, but to qualify for Kona is a little bit easier, because again, it's not a big group. Like in my age category, there'd be 500-600 athletes, and obviously it's only 1 out of those going to come. So obviously the category is smaller, but I know you're not taking anything away from her. Like, I'm not taking anything away from the age category in the Ironmans, but it's still impressive, and it's still, because we've got clients who, when we train them, say, "No, I'm too old for that," or that, and it's like, well, hang on a minute, I've trained clients in that age bracket, or clients your age right now, who are still cycling, running, swimming, still lifting weights, still having a great quality of life, and still, smashing it in the gym. And then when they hear that, sometimes they get their back up, or sometimes they're like, okay, I'll use that as motivation and let me see what I can do. So for her next door to do that, hat off, amazing.
Yeah. I think a lot of people just use age as like a bit of a scapegoat, don't they?
Yeah.
And just
100%.
convince themselves in their head that they're getting too old. Or I mean, well, my mum was a prime example of that, to be fair, because she was in her early 50s. Well, I hope she don't mind me saying that.
Too late, bro. You committed it.
Yeah, I can't cut that out either. Yeah, she was in her early 50s when, because for those people that don't know, I actually PT'd my mum for a little while. And when she started, I think she was not far off 100 kg. So, and again, she was at the time thinking, oh, well, I'm getting old, there's not really much I can do. So when I became a PT, obviously I helped her out, and I think I can't remember the time frame exactly, but I think it was between sort of 3 and 5 months. She dropped a good sort of like 15, 20 kg.
Well, I've seen the transformation from your Instagram, so you would pop that up there if you don't mind people seeing it, because it's an amazing transformation.
Yeah.
She has done incredible. And obviously that's her listening to her son, and then obviously you being a good coach, director, and obviously push her and show her that it can be done. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. And the transformation is insane. It is impressive. So you should pat yourself on the back, and your mum's done amazing work for that. So
yeah, but like I say, she was in that sort of before phase. She was adamant that she was in that mindset of, oh, I'm too old, and it's people just think that as they get older that their health has to suffer and decline as a result of it. But I think it's all just a mindset thing. I'd say especially when it comes to age, it's if you tell yourself that you're too old and you're finished and you'll never. I get don't get me wrong, it's going to be difficult to replicate how fit you potentially were when you were sort of younger. But again, like with my mum, she'd not really done much when she was young. Some people, they'll spend years doing fitness.
Yeah.
As they get older, they'll put on weight, get a little pot belly, not go to the gym as much, and then try and sort of get back on the wagon. Yeah. Whereas she was kind of never on it, so to speak, in the first place. But no, she's done really well. And
never too late.
No, I did. And at first I thought it would be difficult, obviously, with me being her son, as to whether she would actually listen to me. But I think, again, because this was when I was kind of new-ish into the industry, probably I was still in my first year. So I think she probably actually used that and thought, I'm going to make sure I do stick to it because he's my son, if that makes sense, and because it's his business, and it would be good for my business for me to get a result out of her and actually showcase what I can sort of do. Yeah. But now I was really, really impressed with that. So
shall we just talk a bit about next year's goals we've got?
Yeah.
And just let the listeners know what's in store for our, not New Year's resolutions, but what we've got planned for the next 12 months. Do you want to just let them know about your one in March again? Sorry, your Hyrox.
So mine's in March 2nd, I believe. Second or third? Yeah, Glasgow. Because I know you kept getting mixed up with Edinburgh. Yeah. So it's in Glasgow. So we just need to sort all the flights and the accommodation out. So we'll do that in the new year. So hopefully that's not going to be too much. I mean, London weren't bad pricing wise, to be fair. So
I'm still gutted I didn't go to that one, but I want to come to one in March, and then after March we're going to come back to Lanzarote.
Yeah.
Because I think it'd be nice for you after the Hyrox to be able to chill out a bit rather than come before the Hyrox, and then you not enjoying yourself, but more focus on trying to smash these goals and targets and training sessions ready for the Hyrox.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'd be nice to, after the Hyrox in Glasgow, to come out here again for like a long weekend and a bit of training, more footage, because obviously it's a nice place to come, and then I can start prepping for my Ironman, which is in May, Ironman Lanzarote, and then in April, me and you and 4 or 5 others are doing the 3 peaks, which is Ben Nevis, obviously in Scotland, Skelford Pike, obviously which is obviously England, and then Snowdon in Wales.
I'm glad you know what they are. I didn't know what they were. I just agreed to.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know what they were. I just said when Danny
Yeah.
asked us about it, I just said, yeah, sign me up.
So one's in Italy, one's in Spain. Mount Everest. No, so yeah. So have you ever hiked anything of those stature
No.
size?
No, never.
To be fair, I think out the 6 or 7 we were going, there's only 3 of us or 4 of us who have done it. So the other 2 or 3, obviously including self, will love it. Absolutely, it'll be insane. And I think we was talking with Danny about originally it was meant to be in March, so then we said we'll push it to back up April, just so weather conditions slightly improve.
Yeah.
So we can not just enjoy the hike more, but a little bit safer for the people that haven't done it, and also we can try and get up and get down in a not a fast way, but a safe way to get to each mountain as such.
I'd like to think that I can do it.
Yeah, bro. I think obviously how fit you are, your general fitness is fine. Obviously, it's just we want to go to everyone's level of fitness. So Danny probably would be up there smashing it because she goes hiking on regular. Obviously, I've hiked a few times, but it doesn't mean I'm conditioned for it. Like you're fit, but the whole group is fit, but it's just we're not conditioned for it. Again, Danny and her friends will be, but I'm not conditioned for it. But I've done loads of mountains, so I think a little bit of training for that. When we come back out here in March, what might help.
Getting on the Stairmaster with some kettlebells.
Exactly, weight your best.
Yeah,
all of it. And then we've got obviously May the Ironman, so April the 3 Peaks, May the Ironman, and then I'm meant to be doing a long course weekend in Wales in June, because for some of those people that is listening and watching us, unfortunately my mum's quite ill, so she can't travel abroad anymore. So she's always wanted to watch me do another Ironman or like a long distance event. So I said I would do another race pretty much straight after, which is in Wales. Now the long course weekend is an Ironman distance, but it's not branded. It's not branded an Ironman. It's the swim on a Friday, the bike on a Saturday, and then the run on the Sunday. So it's basically a long course weekend. So I've got that planned, and then August, September, I do want to swim Lake Windermere, which is like 11 miles long and 1 mile wide. But obviously, I'm doing the length, not the width.
Yeah.
And then October, Barcelona Ironman. Then I think around that time, you might try and get a Hyrox in another one in abroad or Europe or something.
Yeah, potentially. I think they don't release them that far ahead, okay. So I'm just going off what location was available like September, October, November this year. But I know they change them all the time, but hopefully there will be a decent one around that time. Because Copenhagen as well, they do one there. Because they sent me an email about that saying that it was like a 15% off thing, but it was for like earlier on in the year. So, but yeah, at some point in that sort of September, October, November, I would like to do another one. Whether that's on my own or another mixed doubles with Shannon, so we can beat our March time.
Yeah, well, I'm really excited for that March because I know you're fit. I know you're training and how dedicated you are to smashing a goal is going to be insane. And obviously her level of fitness is insane. So watching you two together, I think, I'm not just saying this for the people watching us or just because you're here, but
sub 1 hour.
100%.
No, I think that's pushing the boat out a little bit.
All right, sub 45.
I think because like TM Cycles, who kind of got me into it, he did a mixed doubles as well. Now I don't really know much about the girl he did the mixed doubles with. I think if I remember rightly, I think they got 1 hour 23.
Well, in my eyes, I think you're going to surprise a lot of people and surprise yourself because you'll be carrying each other, supporting each other, and I think you'll beat their time.
I know it's not obviously about comparing yourself to other athletes, I suppose, and you wanted to just kind of compare as much as on one hand you want to obviously compete against the other people, but then on the other hand it is kind of just like you versus you, like as long as you beat your time, like you should really be happy with that. So, but no, I think again we'll go into it like I went into the London one, not too much pressure on ourselves, and I think that's why I probably performed so well in the London one because I didn't put that much pressure on myself.
So, going off the back of that to wrap up, basically the end of the next year, If you don't find a Hyrox event or a race in Europe or in the UK that you fancy doing, there's always that 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours, which is the David Goggins. Yeah, because I was meant to that a couple of years ago, but through injury, I couldn't do it, and obviously I'm doing it inside the gym just because I want to do all these races next year that I'm doing. I want to do them for a charity. So if we do it on the treadmill in the gym, at least some members can run with me for one of those 4 miles, and then obviously donate. So it just helps that bit more interaction with the members, raising money for charity. And obviously on the next podcast we can talk about the charities that I'm racing for or doing stuff for, so people can donate or support or do whatever they can to show some kind of support for us, because me and you have got quite a lot on next year regarding races and events, and it'll be good to get obviously our listeners and viewers involved in some of that. And then in December, traditional thing we do, we always come back to Lanzarote. So this is the second year me and Joe have come to Lanzarote together. Obviously I've been here for over a decade and pretty much lived here and for a while, and obviously trained here. And me and Joe came here last year and it was epic, and obviously we've been here this year right about the same dates, probably a few days out, and obviously on the next one we can probably just talk about our adventures this time round. And obviously by the time you watch this, if you've been following us on social media, you'll have seen how epic and how cool it is. You'll
be sick of seeing our stories by now.
Yeah. So obviously when this comes out, you're going to see more of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a really good year for us next year, both of us regarding training, regarding clients competing, because again I've got a few clients competing next year in Hyrox and other events, endurance events, and then from there we'll catch up soon.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how Claire gets. Is Claire right? Doing
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I'm excited to see how she gets on, because actually, obviously, I've spoke to her in the gym about it, and I hope she enjoys it as much as I did. Well, she'll enjoy it but hate it at the same time. Like I said, I think I said in the last episode. Actually, no, I didn't, because it cut out before I even got to talk about Hyrox, didn't it?
Yeah.
When I was looking at some of my sessions that I had to do, especially towards the early days of doing it, I used to look at them and think, like, what the bloody hell have I got to do today? Yeah. Like, some of them were nuts.
Yeah. She's the same, bro, don't we? She's definitely the same, don't we? Yeah. And I've also got another 2 clients competing in, but Claire's doing the London
Olympia,
yeah. So that's obviously starting May. So I plan on going down there to support her and get some good, obviously, footage from that, because what she's doing is amazing. Regarding her home life, regarding her work, regarding gym. Again, she's balancing it not just amazing and well, but she's smashing it. And obviously everyone doubts themselves. Everyone questions, am I getting fitter? Am I improving? And then when I tell her what weight she's doing or what movement she's doing from last time, it's a nice way to go, oh, actually, I am improving or I am progressing. And I think that's not a healthy way, but more of a reassuring way to progress, rather than being like, not cocky about it, but yeah, I can do that, or it's just too easy, because then you get too complacent and too sure of yourself. And then when you not fail, but when you get like a rude awakening, it can really set people back.
Yeah. I definitely got more satisfaction from the progress in the Hyrox prep than I ever did just weightlifting. But don't get me wrong, it's good to, like, when you logbook and you're doing your chest press and you're slowly increasing it every week, and it's good to see them numbers up. But for me, and that's why I'm so glad I signed up with Jade, because obviously she gave me them benchmark weeks, and then I would do a certain phase, and then 9-10 weeks later I'd retest and see if I could, because a lot of it was all for time, so I'd see if I could get quicker times and stuff. So for me, doing that, like, again, especially at the beginning, doing that like benchmark week and like finding it difficult, and then 9-10 weeks later doing it again and knocking off, I think on one session I knocked off like 5-6 minutes in total, like being able to do that and seeing my fitness improving in my runs, like that 70-minute run that I did on the treadmill, and 5 minutes in my headphones died. I thought, oh, it's going to be a long 70 minutes here listening to the shitty Pure Gym music, and then I got Stitch like 40-45 minutes in. Like I didn't think I'd do that 70-minute run, if I'm being honest with you, but I think it was about 13k in total, and that was the longest one that I did. But again, that feeling afterwards when you've done it, like you just can't replicate that feeling.
Well,
I don't think.
when you was doing your training plans and you told me what you got to do, and then you come back, like say, earlier than planned because you've got fitter or you've not found it easier, but you've managed to push more. I was like, you done already, bro? Like, yeah, I'm finished. I was like, oh, sweet. Because even I'm seeing that you're getting fitter, you're pushing more through it. And then when you do that 70-minute run, I think I was only doing like a cheeky 5K. And then when I watched you run on the other side of the gym on the treadmills, you did look comfortable and confident. You know, not like you would ever struggled with cardio as much, but I mean, when you was doing that 70-minute run, it did look like, yeah, he looks solid now, like built for this, ready for this.
Yeah. Like I said, I think on one of the last sessions I did before we came away, and I think I said to you, like, it was literally a short circuit, 6 minutes on, 2 minutes rest, 3-4 rounds of that. So I thought, I'm going to go absolutely ham on this. And I was trying to get my heart rate in zone 5, because on the Hyrox, I never hit zone 5 once. But I just can't seem to do it. I can't seem to get my heart rate in zone 5. And I don't know if that's just because of where my fitness levels are at. But yeah, no matter how, I physically could not push any more. If I'd have pushed any more, like I'd have choked to death, because I wouldn't have been able to breathe. So I don't know, because I do get really bad, like, dry mouth. And when I did the Hyrox, I spent a lot of time in the rock zone, as they call it, having little sips of water. So whether that plays a part in it, I don't know. But yeah, I just can't seem to get into zone 5.
I think in March, I think Shannon will make you get into zone 5 because keeping up with her, bro. I think that will make you in a zone 5 mode.
It won't be lower than zone 5.
No. I think you go like from zone 2 to 5.
Yeah, that's literally what Thingy did. George Heaton, the represent guy. When I checked his socials afterwards, I still don't know how he did it, but he literally went straight from like zone 2 to zone 5 in the space of like, he literally must have pelted it off that start line, like Usain Bolt sprint off the start line to go, like, because he skipped 3 and 4, so you've got to be going at some intensity to just bypass them 2 heart rate, because they're quite big zones, aren't they? It's like
huge, yeah.
What we're talking, like probably 30 to 40 BPM.
Well,
between like for me, I think my zone 2, off the top of my head, I think it's like 138, 139, something like that, and then my zone 5 is 177 plus. So that is roughly about 40. If my maths is right. Yeah. So yeah, to skip that, like, that's nuts. I just couldn't imagine doing that. I might try it one day and just.
Well, yeah. Just have loads of Jedi babies.
Just get that defib ready.
Just let me know.
Chris, if you're watching this, I'll let you know beforehand. Get the defib next to me.
Yeah, come on, that'd be epic. So nice. Clear.
Well, it'll be the first time it's been used this year as well. It's been, I think anyway, it's been sat nice and neatly by the front door. So
ready for you.
Yeah, no better time to use it than just. In fact, I'll do it New Year's Eve.
Wow.
So at least then, if it does get used, it's got one use this year. It's not just sat there. At least we'll know if it works or not. So yeah, I think we will wrap the video up here, guys. So tonight is our last night in Lanzarote. So we're going to wrap this up, head out, get a bit of food, couple of cocktails. Emphasise the couple, because to be fair, that's all I need. Anyway, literally that one cocktail I had in Long Beach.
Well, they are Long Beach. And that other place went to are really strong, to the point where even I was like, this is nuts. Obviously, some other places are not watered down, but it's probably not the right measure. But where we're going tonight, to be honest, their cocktails are quite nice. So obviously, I think we're going backstage.
Yeah.
Nice place. And then next door, there's that little club / turns into, well, it's a pub, sorry, / turns into a club at a certain time.
Yeah. It's like the only place on the island that's not full of OAPs. And then we would like to get, we spoke to a couple of people about this anyway, haven't we? But we'd like to try and get a couple of people on.
Yes.
Probably in the new year now. I think we want to just probably get a couple under his belt to begin with, don't we? Just while we're trying to find our feet with it.
Yeah. And also it would be nice if, again, we touched on this last time, but I think this part of the video got cut off. But if anybody for next year or regarding training, any topics that you want us to cover, or if you've got any questions for us, again, always drop us a message on the comments below. message me or Joe on our social media accounts, or again, if you see us locally in the gym, just come and say, can you talk about this, or this is a pet peeve of mine, or this is a nice topic that could you cover. So there's loads more content coming through, like Joe just said, with the guests, and then through topics of the listeners that you want us to have a cover, or just obviously think about regarding New Year resolutions and stuff.
So yeah, do all that YouTuber stuff. Comment, like, and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to turn the notification bell on as well, so you'll be notified of when we upload. And don't forget, in the bio there will be a link to the clothing website. If you sign up to that, you'll get 10% off your first order when we launch, hopefully back end of January. So we'll wrap this one up here, guys, and then we will see you in the next one. Peace.